What YouTubers don't show about Tokyo's car culture? AlexMartini. Now, an old head done recommended me this in the chat. So hopefully it's some informational stuff we can learn about today. And yeah, get away from that cutting up bullshit. Intro produced as hell too. I like this. This is like a different form. It's not street.
Go to Tokyo after spending a few days in
It's gentrified.
Osaka and Ibisu. I was already blown away. I had no idea that this trip could get better than it did over the last like 7 or 10 days.
That's crazy. I can't imagine myself doing that. Yeah, nah, it's crazy work, bro.
What it was like actually exploring TRA Kyoto and Rocket Bunny, and you got to spend some time with me over at Ibisu, and I didn't think things could get much bigger than that. Except they could, because they decided to send me over to Tokyo to spend some time at one of my favorite video game studios of all time. The creators, the designers, the man behind the mask, the people that made a movie
this
out
is
of
the
Polyphony Studios. So that
this the dude from Donut, ain't he? Man, every time I look into a new car, did research like years ago or like the basic shit, he would pop up. Yeah, this is the dude from Donut.
Gran Turismo.
They broke apart?
We're here in Shinjuku, you and me, Tokyo, to go meet the guy who
they all have solo channels now.
Gran Turismo.
His shit probably doing good
and
though.
We gotta go.
When you go to Tokyo,
478 bands?
Like there's 30 businesses.
Oh damn, the view is going crazy though.
Pulled up, I didn't necessarily know what to expect. I just wanted to bring you along with me to experience it together, and the expectations were maybe we would see something neat. I just didn't really expect to be walking into a lobby that had 14
Donut got bought out in the direction of the video.
A huge lobby space where there's food for everyone, and there's like 100 and some bajillion employees.
Hey. On the side note though, I'm gonna be pausing like cool kid. Gots to. You know what channel broke down too? Like a lot of these major channels are just breaking down for no reason because they're going out of budget, or I mean they're going out of business. Whether it be wheel brands, like what was it, BBS going out of business. Donut probably got bought out because they was losing money in revenue. And like History Channel got real weird too. That's on a side note, but like they started posting alien shit. Like yo, a lot of these companies now are scrapping for money, bro. A lot of these like YouTubers and stuff is taking all they ad money, all they brand deals.
Maintaining Gran Turismo and building out the next iteration. Now you might be wondering, how is Michelin and Gran Turismo related? You know, how do they kiss? Well, Gran Turismo has a World Series, something that they run every round throughout the world, and it is an esports activity, with round 3 taking place in Tokyo, Japan. That is how Michelin and Gran Turismo got together. And essentially, in the game itself, you get to pick...
Low-key, that could be a YouTube video. Wavy Boy Eli tries out for esports sim racing.
Impact on how good the car
Lion on the sim racing team!
Things like that. And so when Michelin came on board to help with Gran Turismo, they actually provided real-time data and real track data on certain tire types that then Gran Turismo used to put
I don't know if you're talking about really for the shit like bought out stuff, but yeah, a lot of wheel companies and stuff like going out of business.
But there were little
I forgot which other one too.
Eggs all around Polyphony Studios, which you would suppose there should be. It's a video game company. The first thing that I noticed is that they have a bar in the lobby space next to the sim rigs, and the actual cafe book that you have in the game is the same exact cafe book that they have, where you can go through and figure out what you'd want to drink or make, because they have people that will stay around on Friday nights, open up a DJ area, play music, hang out, and make drinks for the staff. That I thought was really cool. If you look further around, you can see that there are helmets from like very notable race car drivers, people like
Lewis what they had over here. This one's kind of hard. Like, I don't know what this is on the bottom. Oh, I forgot. I seen a lot of bike niggas with this brand. I don't know what it is, but you have the Gran Turismo shit right here, Petronas hat. But this is hard. This little, I don't know what it's called though, but this little graffiti right here,
drivers,
or graphic.
Like Lewis Hamilton, hats from Max Verstappen, old car parts from NSXs and Hondas and things like that they've kept over the last 20 years or so to make the game. Now, the biggest thing for me, and probably for you, was getting to be able to meet all of these different Gran Turismo world players. These were people from all across the world.
Oh, I'm smoking these niggas. What? You telling me these are top players?
People from
I'm smoking this kid. Oh yeah, nah, he's rap. He's chicken rap.
Expect a bunch of really good sim racers to be, but they're all still a little bit nerdy. So
ever played Gran Turismo?
With talking in front of a camera
maybe like in 2008.
but being able
Other
to
than
see
that,
how good
nah.
they were,
It's
was
not popping in the media
absolutely
no more.
Incredible. So honestly, I was
It's like,
already
it's super
happy. I got
niche.
to see the lobby. I got to race on the sim rig with Greg and all the guys. I got to explore what I thought was a majority of the video game studio. It felt like it was inside of a hotel because I couldn't see anything from the outside. But turns out that was just the beginning, because after we had a chance to eat our bento boxes, where I got to pick between a traditional Japanese cuisine or an American burger, we got to actually go behind the scenes. And we didn't just get to go behind the scenes and do like a really basic walk around with some random person. We got to do a walk around of the actual studio with Kazunori Yamauchi, who is the CEO, the president
big
of
boss, big
Polyphony
boss.
Digital Studios, and the guy and the brain behind the Gran Turismo series. You saw him in the movie. That's the guy in the movie.
Y'all think he be fucking bitches though? That's the real question. I know he's big boss and he gets bread, but do he be fucking bitches?
Be able to meet him.
Because a lot of this shit niggas do for the huzz. Build a business, build a game. That's all for the huzz at the end of the day.
Every single bit and piece of this thing was insane. Now, I'm pretty sure
just his wife.
Kazunori didn't expect
that's what that's what they want you to think, Breeze.
For Japan to sell over
that's what they want you to think.
Copies since its inception. But it's clear to see that no matter what they touched in the game themselves, they carried the same like fundamental principle that they wanted to make it the best version of the game they possibly could. But the coolest thing was the library. The library was this small room inside the studio because we weren't able to film pretty much anything besides this. And I only had my phone on me because my camera had died. And it was this like maybe 30 by 30 foot space with columns of books, video games, manga, DVDs, VHS.
Yeah, that's a hard collection, bro.
Parts, paint to sample.
That's probably like easily 6 figures in that room.
Books of just different.
Because they don't make shit like that no more.
When we started walking around, we noticed that there were doors from Porsches, and the original Gran Turismo was set up on an original boob tube, sitting there with a controller, ready for anyone to sit down and play. And so we got to ask Kazunori why this place even existed. So apparently, there's a lot of times because of how many cars that they try to produce and develop and invest in. With one car can take upwards of 8 months of total rendering time and photography and physics testing, and then launching it into the game. Something like an alpha that we got to see was up to 7.5 months of development before that car would ever go into the game, which is nuts. So when you're doing that for 8 months, there are times where you might get a little bit of a dry spell. And if you're watching this video and you're a photographer or creator,
8 months is crazy just to develop one car.
You get these creative blocks, and Kazunori knows this. And so they developed this library where it's a place where anybody can go back to and get reconnected with the purpose of making Gran Turismo. The whole goal, and one of the big things that he said was, if you ever have a doubt as to what it's supposed to be like to play Gran Turismo 7 or 6 or 10 or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's hard. Like a debrief.
Go play Gran Turismo.
Yo, a lot of when y'all niggas get internships and get like real jobs, like because a lot of y'all niggas young, you're not in corporate. Like Google and these bigger companies will have debrief rooms like that. They really respect the person's like mental fatigue and stuff like that. So yeah, that's cool to see though. I rather something like that. Then sometimes they'll have like big couches and like my mom works at like a big accounting firm, right? So when I go to her shit, like I see it's like bean bags, whatever, cool shit, piano. But that one was actually like cool and retro. You know what I'm saying? There's actual information in there that you can go through
of the game, and that's why the whole video game setup was built.
Yeah,
there. That's why all the different stuff was there, so that people
but 8 months is insane.
Kind of experience what it should be before they head back to work. There's some also really cool things that I noticed about Gran Turismo that I never really expected before, and the trip with Michelin allowed me to learn this. Like the fact that when the first Gran Turismo came out, they didn't have enough money to go buy licenses for taillights and headlights. They didn't get the eyes of Mitsubishi or Honda involved in anything because they didn't really see the value in the video game just yet. So Kazunori and the team would go to junkyards and buy these headlights and taillights, take them apart, photograph
and scan them
the best that they could, and then use that information to make the taillights and the headlights in the game. But what developed Gran Turismo's like realism was the fact that
it took me 2 months to make the BMW I showed you. I didn't even code it or probably detail.
What they ended up doing is they take these really small details.
Yeah, because you just got the model, right? They went hard. Nigga, they was going stupid hard. They was scrapping like they was from the hood. Nigga, they went to junkyards and got lights because they want to pay for licenses. Sacrifices had to be made, bro. Sacrifices had to be made. But, yeah, bro, it's like the texture and all that stuff you do on Blender is already long enough. So I guess it makes sense for 8 months. But at a company at that level with all the resources they have, you're just doing it yourself. they're
and
just
put them in
they
the
have
game.
money, so
The biggest
even then it's still a
thing
little
that
long.
made some of the first Gran Turismo so special wasn't just the
Pause.
sound, it was the lighting, and it was the lighting that came from the cars, and that was because they actually designed the headlight pieces in the game to have the same reflectors or cuts in the glass in the headlights and taillights.
Damn, look at the horsepower numbers though. You saw that? Everything almost damn near under 200
at the time, which made the game look way better than a lot of the competition at the time. And it was that attention to detail that started to put Gran Turismo on a slightly different path than the rest of the racing video games that existed at the time. So I was feeling motivated. We were feeling good. This was a cool trip to see all these different memorabilia pieces and learn and understand that Gran Turismo is still a place where I rage every single time I hop on the sim rig, because while the game is incredible, the players in my driver rating are not. So I was feeling a little motivated. We decided to take that motivation and do the most touristic crap you possibly could, because why not? And that was
I straight up made out the car's blueprints, LMAO.
Is a light term. We got to do the
Yo,
karting
and
thing
that's just
where you
like
drive around Tokyo on
not
city
moving
streets, and
too.
everybody says
They had to
that
do
it's a tourist activity in the
physics
local
is a lot of
data.
like
I don't
calculus
know if that's
1 and
true.
2.
What I hated is that we just
And
happened
even
to go
3.
out during a monsoon, and
You're
they told
dealing
us
with,
that we
like,
couldn't carry cameras, we couldn't bring anything with us.
logarithms and a
Michelin,
bunch
but
of
I broke
different
both
shit.
of those rules because I thought some of these like little stops were actually super rad. They go like
I think
40
AI would do
miles an
most of that
hour,
math
but
work now
because
anyway.
Our little guy that was guiding our trip was kind of a dick. We were only going like 25, which meant the ex-Formula One race car driver that was with us, myself pretending to be a drifter, and Mr. Car Sounds, aka Greg, decided to turn it into a sprint match.
Damn, that's hard though.
And I'm pretty sure we're never allowed to go back again. Now, even though we were soaked, we got to finally enjoy.
That's a real thing you could do in like in Japan though, right? Just rent go-karts and get the Mario shit. I seen it online.
That you and I are gonna get to go to, which my expectations.
Y'all boys smart as fuck. Who you talking about, Kai?
Because I didn't know what to expect.
All the niggas in Wavy
But
talented.
boy,
We don't fuck with no bums
was
over
I
here.
wrong. Before we ended up going to the championship, we got to go and of course eat at a Michelin-starred restaurant. That's where all of the Michelin activation folks kind of came to hang out. There's about 8 of us. Amelia Hartford was there. She was in the movie too. I only bring it up every single time I see her because I don't know what else to relate with. Now, I've never been to an esports thing before either, and maybe you haven't. So this is a good opportunity for you to see what it's like. And I gotta say, it is so incredible, not only to see the sport happening in real time and to have little headphones in that translate what they're saying.
Hey,
but
this is a real
also
thing though. Like,
see and experience.
people
what
can
the
get scholarships
Japanese
off of this.
culture is like.
People post their scholarships on
experiencing a
TikTok
sport.
now, like,
You
oh, I
see
got
it
an
on the
esports
internet,
scholarship.
Everybody being so polite and courteous
crazy.
and clean and simple and very stoic.
Go drift cars in
and you
Japan.
think maybe
Japan is
it's a
just like,
little bit of a facade. Maybe it's just the internet being the internet. You know, the internet is kind of a shithole sometimes. This was not that. Everything that I'd seen on the internet in terms of how they react to excitement, to proper etiquette, to being polite, that's all true. Every single person. It was insane to see for the very first time. I was just as excited to see the winners and people and the accidents that happened along the way, but the level
Michelin
of,
man looking spiffy
control
though.
that the fans
Fit
had in the
nasty.
stands was something I don't think anybody at a Green Bay Packers stadium could ever replicate. Now, this whole thing, the drivers, they don't get paid at all. This is all just because they want to. So
No pay. Nigga, what the fuck am I racing for then? No pay. Oh, I thought these niggas was getting paid. I'm like, oh, I could win, do this, do that. Nigga, what? You see,
some of them.
even though they're getting scholarships, bruh, it's not enough bread in the system yet. God damn, I thought we was there yet. I guess we not. No pay is insane. Oh, hell no.
This entire thing is just to
Nah. Yeah, just give me my money. Yeah.
They have 2 different
Give me my
team
money.
sections that essentially play at every round, with Tokyo being round 3, which meant the next one was the full-on championship to decide the winner, both globally and for their nation's cup. Not only that, we get to see teams that are responsible for putting together the clips and the replays. There's teams that are specifically focused towards looking at the driving characteristics of the car to see if anybody's abusing the rules and like the physics of the game to win. I mean, it's just incredible to see the amount of love that goes into this thing, all for a bunch of kids to drive around on a track in a video game because it's cool. And honestly, being able to say hi to the Michelin Man, being able to see behind the scenes, meeting
Yeah, why he picked this clip though? Being able to see behind the scenes. I see you. Oh, okay. But on a real note though, even though they're not getting any bread, it's like it's cool to see them like. That just means they're extra passionate about what they do. That just means Gran Turismo as a community is just extra passionate about what they do, and I respect that.
Of my life, because the very next day,
a lot of niggas who really love things just do it for free.
Here's the part they don't tell you
got
about
food
traveling
poisoning?
a ton.
Rip.
So we've been here 12 days now.
Tragic.
Yesterday night, my stomach started to hurt, and now today, I'm pretty sure I have food poisoning, which is like the worst thing to possibly happen on a trip, especially when we're at 8-Pit Autobox. So if I seem slightly less excited, it's because the only thing that I'm truly excited for right now in terms of like my body is where the nearest bathroom is.
If you ever get food poisoning when you're traveling, just keep in mind that there are two options. Number one, you can sit on the Toto for the entire day and just hope that that little thing that shoots up and kind of makes you a little uncomfortable.
Hey, yo.
Soothe your mind.
All right, you good, bro. We don't gotta.
That may or may not help keep things inside of you. All of that phrasing is awkward, but that is byproduct of what food poisoning does to you. And I would be damned if I wasn't gonna continue to experience the very last day in Japan with one of my closest friends, probably one of the people that have made Japan so comfortable for me to go and explore. And you know him, and I of course know him, but we get to spend a day with Masa.
If you ever
Masa.
go
I don't
to
know who
Japan,
Masa is,
there's
bro.
one person that you need to meet that's more important than anyone. You're not gonna find them at the Imperial Palace. You're not gonna find them anywhere. You're gonna find them wherever he just happens to be. Hi, Masa.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Who is this
How are
dude?
you?
I'm good. Hi, Alex. Good to see you again.
No.
I want to say I've seen him before, but I haven't. I don't know. I think maybe he's been on one of Hooligans videos.
Good to
maybe.
see you.
Thank you.
Maybe.
Good
Thank
to
you very
see you.
much.
This man is a legend, and he's a sweetheart. And anytime, if you ever come to Japan, Masa's one of the go-to guys.
Thank you.
Plus, he's a sweetie, and we
Thank
love
you.
him.
You've
If we get a chance to have to go to Japan and go to a car meet, it's mad
mad
different than go to the ones in Japan, but the bills are crazy. Of course.
The international YouTube
I'll cut up in
superstar
Japan.
for anybody from America going to Japan and is looking to just
I'll go
get
on
a
the
little
first
bit of
Japanese
help
police
of getting
chase.
around. He
Sober.
works at Top Rank Global. He's an awesome dude. He's incredibly knowledgeable in cars, but one of my favorite things about Masa is that he's just a really awesome dude to hang out with. In my opinion, he's the closest person I could get to that Midwest nice than I've ever met before in Japan in my entire life. And we got to spend a day getting lunch and of course going to my favorite store, 8-Pit Autobox.
Oh, whoa. What they got on the wall here? Oh, it's beautiful. They just got all types. They got coilovers, they got exhaust, they got a little intercooler on here, HKS parts. Okay. That's hard.
Is incredible. It's got
I like the barrel
restrooms
one,
for
though.
days so that
The
you can
barrel
run
one's
in them
tough.
every 20 minutes and then 15 minutes and then 10 minutes and then 5 minutes and then you can just stay in there for 10 to 15 minutes. But they also have a Starbucks, books,
From AC
camping
IRL,
gear,
that would be
apparel,
tough.
air fresheners,
That would be
and then on
tough.
the upper floors they have car parts, steering wheels, intakes, exhaust, coilovers, HKS stuff, limited edition wheels, Tane, little Dampachi things, everything that you could imagine that you would ever want as a car enthusiast going to a different country is going to be located inside of 8-Pit Autobox. I've been there twice, and because the yen is weak and in between bathroom breaks, I found myself as many clothes and things and stuff as I possibly could for myself and the team, because this is one of those experiences where if you're gonna spend money, spend it at a place that you literally cannot get anything stateside. One of my favorite things.
Yeah, genuinely, like, shit, we already know what it's like to get these over shipping motherfucking parts over. It's like it takes 3 weeks. They cancel order. It takes forever, bro. So while you're there, you might as well buy the shit
because they have like polar bears and cats and dogs, like camping, and it's just like this weird apparel. And I always get it at 8-Pit. I also always
bro, you gotta record that shit, Breeze.
And I always get a couple keychains and little Dampachi things because they're impossible to get here in the States. Now, I will say, this was likely the hardest day I've ever experienced in my entire life because of the whole food poisoning thing. That was getting worse as the day went on. But there were 2 more things that you and I had to do. Number 1, try this infamous place that Masa claimed was the best place to take foreigners to eat. And then number 2, go to Daikoku.
They got a C7 though in Japan? Okay. Yo, they praise the foreign muscles over there though.
Now, heading to Daikoku.
Whoa, what is
obviously
this? Yo, this shit is compact as hell. Liberty Walk 2. This one of them like foreign exclusive cars. This shit, if you really drove it though, would make any cut in the fucking world, bro. Like
a blast.
Look at it compared to the BRZ
so
that was
many
next to it.
cars,
That shit was
people trying to sell
small.
oil filters,
C8,
there's food
my
everywhere,
fault.
there's neat things.
My fault. C8,
Everybody's
C8,
just trying to
C8.
have a good time. We got to go to Daikoku in 2022, and there was like 6 cars there. So I was a little nervous that today wouldn't be much better. But it was. Even though it was a Sunday, the experience was awesome. Everybody was insanely nice and passionate about these cars that they had built. And there was S15s, and there were Chargers, and there were M3s and M5s. But the coolest car to me, and I think to you, and I'm willing to convince you on this, were all the minivans. There's this subculture of minivans in Japan that I'm
you know what's
convinced
hard that they
took some
customize in
of
fucking
their car
Japan?
culture heritage
They're
from,
18-wheelers.
like, the San
I'm gonna
Luis
show you after
Obispo,
this, but that shit
SoCal
is
area back in like the 80s and 90s where the minivan culture was actually getting very
They make them
big.
like show cars,
And it,
like with
brought
chandeliers
it
and
back
shit.
to Japan.
Shit's
And what you saw were
shining.
these super cool, super rad vans. There was an AE86 version of, you know, like Initial D van. There was a van that had subwoofers and it was like painted tan and brown and had like
Hardest shit
pinstriping
you'll
on
ever
the
see in your
side
life.
with,
I'm
like,
about to-
cool
bro, I'm telling you, I'm about to show
American
y'all
torque
boys.
thrust wheels. Like there was this USDM-ish tinge on these minivans and vans, and it was probably what I was attracted to at Daikoku the most. Now there's GTRs and GTTs, and Masa's GTR collects a mountain of people looking at it. But for me, I'm always just enthralled by these really weird, quirky cars. One of my favorite things about going to Japan is meeting all of the incredible people. Now, getting food poisoning was not on the bingo card, but it wasn't something that I wanted to
Bro,
let
who is this
slow
woman,
us
bro?
down. You know, to learn
I'll
about
take the bit from you, bro.
everything that we
Stop
got to
showing
go
her.
do
You ain't talking
together
about
in
her.
Japan was totally
Shit.
worth it, including being able to go to
You
a
know
place
a
that
nigga
was nothing more
top
than
tier
just a
gooner.
burger joint with Kyoko and of course Masa and Becca and I was just a really cool experience. But that's what the entirety of the trip was cool experiences. And I got to go because of Michelin. I got to go experience Ibisu because of the Sideways experience. I got to go experience the Osaka Underground PA because of John. I got to experience Work Wheels because
I
of
should have sent a
JC,
sort of
and I got
vid.
to experience
Nah, it's all
some of the
good.
coolest cars and car rentals because of
I'm
Nadamoto,
fine. I'm
who I
chilling,
met
bro.
there. And I got to meet Chika-san, who runs Work Wheels. I mean, all of it was just an experience to meet new people. And that doesn't even go into meeting people like Hiroki or meeting people like Tanaka or meeting people like Yukito from 666 or Rocket Bunny. I mean, all of this was just an explosion of experiences, and none of it really felt as much of a relaxing vacation as it did as a way to just expand the way that I see car culture globally. Because it's not just about S13s and GTRs and just JDM stuff that you can't get from America, but the Japanese car culture carries so
Damn,
much
I gotta get my setup like that.
emotion and
If I can get my room like this, I think it would be
S13s
butter.
and GTRs and just JDM stuff.
Bro,
stuff
just
that
look at all this little,
you
yeah,
can't get
bro. It's
from
just a
America.
vibe in
But the
here. It's a
Japanese
lot of
car
shit, but it's just
culture
like, it's
carries
vibes, bro.
So much
It's not just
emotion
walls
and
with paint
respect
scratches on
and
it.
heritage.
It's tough.
And individualism in its own unique way, that I think that's why people fall in love with this culture so much. And if you've ever been on the fence about going, you absolutely should. And it is such a treat, because I want to talk about in the next video a full comprehensive guide on actually going there and what
Okay,
to
I think
expect and what
he's Gucci now though.
incredible human being.
All right,
much for
bet.
watching.
Thanks for all right.
forget
You're
to-
Gucci, bro. You're Gucci. We got you. But yeah, this was like, I don't really care. It wasn't that long, bro. It was 20 minutes. It's not like you sent me a 40-minute vid. But mad cool vid, bro. Mad chill vid. Sad to hear that actually Donut split apart though. I never knew that. Will I subscribe to bro? Nah, he's not really my stilo. But I fuck with the vid though, bro. That shit was hard. A lot of dedication put into it and production. But I wish the best for this dude, bro. That was a crazy outro.